So that's part of what I'm doing. It's like showing nobody dies for a lie.
Yeah. Well, the resurrection is the one that is the most difficult for people to swallow.
Yes.
That's the one that requires the most faith.
The most faith and the most belief. Yeah, resurrection.
Yeah.
Who gets back up 3 days later after he gets murdered in public? Who gets back up under his own power? Buddha didn't do that.
Right.
You know. So.
You believe that was a real event?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
What brought you to that belief? Is this something that you've always had, or is it something you studied it and you've come to this conclusion because of the historical accounts?
In this episode of the Joe Rogan Experience, he welcomes Mel Gibson for a conversation that takes an unexpected turn. For the first time in the history of the podcast, Joe Rogan becomes visibly emotional. As they speak about the resurrection of Jesus Christ, the weight of the moment hits hard. Faith, sacrifice, and the question that changes everything. Let's watch this powerful and emotional moment together.
That was a crazy movie because it was a great movie, but
Yeah.
it seemed like there was resistance to that movie,
Oh yeah. No, there was.
which I thought was very strange. There was like Hollywood resistance to that movie. Like people didn't like that you were making it. It seemed
No.
like.
Yeah, there was a lot of opposition to it, and I don't know. I think if you ever hit on that subject matter, you're gonna get people going, because
Of course.
it's big subject matter, and it's like And my contention is, when I was making it, it was like, you're making this film, and the idea was that we're all responsible for this. That his sacrifice was for all mankind, and that for all our ills and all the things in our fallen nature, it was a redemption. So, and I believe that, I actually am, I was born into a Catholic family. I'm very Christian in my beliefs, so I do actually believe this stuff to the full. So depicting that was an honor, but it was also, you got the daylights beat out of you for it.
Yeah, because there's resistance, first of all, from secular Hollywood, where for whatever reason, Christianity is the one religion that you're allowed to disparage.
Yeah.
Christianity is the one religion where people, all these progressive, open-minded, leftist people, they'll embrace all these different religions until it comes to Christianity. And for whatever reason, that represents like white male, whatever it represents, colonialism, whatever it represents, it's negative.
Yeah, sure. It's gotten a bad rap, and people do feel free to beat up on it.
Mm-hmm.
Even I do when I see it's like, when it's not fair, or when I think it's off.
Right.
Like, when they appoint some cardinal in some diocese and he's been covering up for like people who are child molesters.
Yes.
Or, like Theodore McCarrick or Cardinal Wuerl or those kind of guys. I mean.
Or the Pope.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. I'm
Benedict.
Not Benny. Well, he was covering up, but so is the guy now.
Is he really?
Well, yeah. It's not great.
I thought he was like the more progressive Pope.
Oh, he's very progressive, yes.
But he's covering up for stuff as well. Well, they all are. I mean, it's a dark institution in a lot of ways because it's history.
Well, the institution, it was instituted by Christ, but that doesn't mean that it can't be flawed. And there's a school of thought that says it isn't what it purports to be anymore. It's moved away from what it was intended to be and what it is. Almost, there's a guy called Bishop Vigano who says it's a counterfeit parallel church, and it's running an entirely different religion, to the point where now, I mean, we got a pope that brought a South American idol into the church to worship.
Really?
He did. The Pachamama. He bought the South American, and he got.
I don't know what that is.
It's kind of like a South American god, Pachamama.
Why would he do that?
Good question. but he did.
Did he have an explanation for why he did it?
Yeah, it's kind of a weasel-worded thing of like, oh, all religions are just as good as one another. But, you know, if that's his contention.
He shouldn't be the Pope.
No.
Well, Pope Francis is coming under fire for bringing so-called pagan idols into the Vatican.
It all began on the opening ceremonies in the Vatican gardens, where they had a female shaman, and they brought in 2 of these statues, and they had everyone bowing down to them while the Pope sat on the side. And the media all over the world and Catholics everywhere who watched the opening ceremony thought, this is very odd. It looks like idolatry. It looks like a golden calf situation.
I mean,
How can you be the Pope if you say all religions are just as good?
Yeah, we all worship, you know. So, yeah, there's a Pachamama. There you go.
So he brought that in.
Yeah, into the Vatican. Then the hierarchy even worshipped. They had a ceremony around it outside.
What?
So, well, that constitutes apostasy.
Yeah.
Jay. That's an apostasy move. All right.
Worshipping false gods.
Yeah, that's number 1 on the Mosaic hit list. You
Yeah.
know? Moses goes up on the mountain. He comes back down. People are worshiping a golden calf.
Yeah.
You know, it's that.
Yeah.
So you can't do that. And for me, that's a departure from you know, that's called apostasy.
Right.
That's a falling away from it. And the very nature of apostasy means that you have to be part of it to fall away from it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an inside job.
Ah.
So,
what do you think there's a motive behind these things?
I don't think well, probably.
What do you think it is?
I don't know. But it isn't good. I think we're looking at a world where and this is in the next film I'm going to do, I'm going to try and tackle this question. That there are big realms, spiritual realms. There's good, there's evil, and they are slugging it out for the souls of mankind. And my question is, why are we even important? Little old flawed humanity, why are we important in that process where the big realms are slugging it out over us? And I think there's bigger things at play here. And institutions that purport to touch on the divine are necessarily going to be affected by that slugfest that's going on between good and evil.
Right. So this story that you want to tell about good and evil, like, do you have a script, or is it just a thing in your head? What is it?
Yeah, it's the resurrection story, but it's not linear, because you can't really. It's hard to understand, so it's got to be put in a framework where you answer a few other questions as well. And you have to juxtapose the event itself against everything else so that it makes some kind of sense in a bigger picture.
So are you doing this with historians as well? Are you trying to make it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, historical stuff. Well, I regard the Gospels as history. It's verifiable history. Some people say, oh, it's a fairy tale. He never existed, but he did. And there are other accounts, verifiable historical accounts outside the biblical ones that also bear this up, that yes, he did exist. And the other aspect of that is that all the evangelists, the apostles who went out there, every single one of those guys died rather than deny their belief. And nobody dies for a lie. Nobody.
Right.
So that's part of what I'm doing.
Well, the resurrection is the one that is the most difficult for people to swallow.
Yes.
That's the one that requires the most faith.
The most faith and the most belief. Yeah, resurrection.
Yeah.
Who gets back up 3 days later after he gets murdered in public? Who gets back up under his own power? Buddha didn't do that.
Right.
You know. So.
You believe that was a real event?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
What brought you to that belief? Is this something that you've always had, or is it something you studied it and you've come to this conclusion because of the historical accounts? And
so, as a child, you learn these things and you accept them on faith. And I still have that faith, but as I got older, I came to it through intellect and through reading and putting things together in accounts, and then occurrences like in my own life. You know, I mean, just recently they verified the Shroud of Turin. Have you seen that?
I've been reading about it, and I know that there's some contention, there's some discussion and debate about it, but they used to think that it was only a couple hundred years old.
Yeah.
And now they've changed that.
Yeah, they said no, it's back then.
They also don't understand how it was made, which to me is very fascinating because it's not paint. It's not, they don't know what caused the image itself and how that technology would have even been available
It wasn't. No.
a couple thousand years ago.
An intense light. I mean, atomic. To leave almost like a photographic imprint on a piece of cloth.
Yeah.
And
It's wild. Pull that up. Pull the Shroud of Turin up.
oh yeah.
It's wild to look at because
yeah.
it's so interesting.
Oh yeah. There's for and against. There's always been.
Yeah, always. But it's just
But the image is like come
yeah,
on.
it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Whatever it is pretty crazy, and the fact that they don't know how they made it is also pretty crazy.
Yeah.
It's not a painting.
Nope.
They're not exactly sure how
No.
it even came about.
Yeah. It had to have been some kind of intense light.
Well, the thought was that even trying to replicate something like that today would be incredibly difficult to do.
Sure. It's like an X-ray vision. You know?
Yeah.
It's like an X-ray. That's what you really see it in the negative only.
Right.
You know. It's
Right.
crazy.
It's like a negative. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I buy it. So you have to think about the other side. You have
Yeah.
to think about what comes next. Is there a next? Yes, there is. I believe there is, and I think it's depends on how you live now. And the beauty of believing is that even for your transgressions, you can be forgiven and you can be redeemed, but it's all up here,
Right.
you know.
It's the true acceptance and understanding of what you've done and what you should do.
Sure. You have to
And
look
how-
at yourself honestly.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely honestly. You have to be able to accuse yourself and understand that it's a great deal of mercy involved in the fact that I believe that God sent his son down to tell us, okay, I'm going to ransom you people from your fallen nature, and I'll give you a roadmap on how to do it.